Okay, welcome back to Vidhammer. This video being a little bit different, but figured it was probably necessary, and I want to get this out as quickly as possible. I'm going to be breaking down this video into 3 sections. First section, absolutely no spoilers of any kind. A middle section where I will give you a few thoughts and opinions on some stuff, might convince you to go see it. And then I'll actually talk about some stuff on the very end. So the first part, let's talk about absolutely no spoilers oriented whatsoever. I will simply say, if you are a fan of any of the Avengers movies so far, or realistically, more than just a couple of the Marvel movies, you should go see this movie. I cannot express enough. If you've enjoyed any of those, you need to go watch this one. And more importantly, you need to go see it soon. You need to see it before anything gets spoiled for you to really get the biggest impact out of the movie. That being said, yes, I give it thumbs up. Very good. And yeah, I saw it just a few hours ago, and as soon as I left the theater, I thought to myself, I should come back here and make this video to tell people about it. So definitely stay until the end of the credits. There is a extra scene at the end. I won't tell you anything about it. I'll just say make sure you stay and watch it. And I will talk about that and everything else towards the end of this video. But all that being said, that's all I'm going to tell you. So go and watch it, and then come back and watch the rest of this. Now, spoilers are coming, so turn away if you don't want anything spoiled at all. Okay. So, just to help possibly convince a few other people that might trying to be watching this and still not be sure about it, this is one that you do want to go see in the theater before anything really gets spoiled for you. So before I dive into any actual spoilers, just know this movie struck a very similar chord with me at the end when I was leaving the theater and realizing the impact that it had had on people, the viewers. Was incredibly reminiscent of when I was just a kid, more than 30 years ago, when I saw in the movie theater for the first time the movie Empire Strikes Back. This had some very, very similar feeling as that one did. So the reason why I expressed that you really should go see this is Infinity War for this generation. I think this is going to be their equivalent movie that they're going to remember as they grow up for the next 20 years, was how impacted that movie, how much of an impact it made on them. So that is the only other thing I can do to try to convince you to go see it, because I have a inclination that people in that kind of nerdy, geeky type of area are going to be talking about this movie for a very long time to come. And it's going to be people's really, favorite movie because of that impact, and because it's probably the first movie that a lot of people are going to see, they're going to have that impact. So, again, go see it. Now, on to some spoiler stuff. If you don't want to know anything about the movie, do not keep watching. That being said, holy crap. Yes. Like Empire Strikes Back, just leaving you feeling absolutely emotionally crushed that the good guys lose. And they don't just lose in a little way, they lose horribly. And there were so many parts of the movie where just in paying attention to the audience, especially the part in which Thanos is fighting and stabs Tony Stark, boom, right through the chest. And you could hear, I could hear in the theater, I could hear about probably 10 people audibly gasp when that happened. Because you just heard people go, oh, I was just sitting there just like, oh, they did such a good job of not letting any spoilers get out beforehand, not letting the reviews go out beforehand. And, you know, even though he still lives through that section, but there's so many others that are gone. And you're still left with that little kid in my mind saying, yes, I remember what it was like when certain characters, Star Wars characters, were removed. You're like, oh, they're gone entirely. But then, many years later, it's like, well, they're actually back. So even in this case, look at things and be like, yes, a huge number of the characters are gone, but don't think they're gone for certain. Maybe, but we'll have to see in that whole concept that Doctor Strange had for all of the different possibilities. Do we win in any of them? One. And it's obviously the path that he is leading everybody along. So in what way do they win, and what do they have to go through in order to have a win in the end? And the fact that at the end, as Thanos is there with his glove, it looks like it is perhaps destroyed to the point of inoperable at that point. Maybe that final usage destroyed it to the point to where he might not be able to use it again. So maybe it might not be able to focus the energy of the stones. He'll still have the stones, but he's not going to know how to work them all. Maybe he'll have to do some weird stuff. Maybe that'll give the Avengers the advantage. We'll see how that plays out. And, of course, the little snippet at the very end of the credits. For those of you who did not know, probably I imagine any of you watching this movie will probably know, when Nick Fury makes that final cell phone call as he is deteriorating, and it drops on the ground, and you see it with that extra little added whatever it is on the bottom that makes you think, yeah, he's calling somebody who's obviously well outside of cell phone range. Exactly where? Who knows? But the little emblem that pops up is Captain Marvel. So that's coming. And yeah, this one was really good. Thumbs up all the way. And yeah, to break down the rest of the things, I like the dark side of it. I think they really still did a good job of putting humor in for several of the different characters. Mostly as, you know, little one-line comic relief stuff to kind of break tension in certain points. But then when it gets towards the end of the movie and things need to get more serious, that mindset dies away. And it's all very serious from there on as people start going down. And the action sequences, director had a little bit of I don't remember when they call it, when the director gets the small box mindset of watching everything on a screen that's like this big instead of imagining what it's going to look like on a screen this big. So some of the action sequences, like several other Hollywood movies that have come out recently, the first time you see it on a big screen, especially seeing it 3D IMAX that I saw, action was happening so quickly and so back and forth across the screen that you didn't fully understand exactly what, that's Black Panther being beat up by a couple of guys, and there's Banner in the Hulkbuster, okay. But you don't get a full appreciation for a lot of the big sequences because you can't take it all in, when you're in a theater and you've got to see, 45 degrees out on either side. So interested to see it on a TV screen. The action sequences might be a little better to follow. But that would be my only real complaint about things. Most of the acting I thought was done really well. Some of the screenplay parts were kind of tough, obviously, for some of the actors to get through, because they're like, it's a really serious, really emotional part, but it's not that it's written poorly. It's just that it's not written as well as some of the other parts in the movie, which makes a couple of parts stand out. They're kind of like, yeah, I feel like they were probably struggled with that part. We're trying to make it good, and we're kind of like, well, this is what we've got, and they didn't have enough budget to go back and try to reshoot or make any alterations or whatever. But for the most part, acting was very good. Screenplay was very good. The the cinematography and stuff was very flashy and very cool. The soundtrack breaks in with some of the stereotypical awesome moments that you've gotten used to from the very first Avengers movie, like, when you see all of them working together for the very first time and you hear the music coming in as the camera spins around and gets the shot of all of them together. There are more iconic moments just like that in this one that really did well. But that's about it. Go see the movie. It's awesome. People are going to be talking about it for a long time. Peace out. Keep gaming.